everyone, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice. Oh my god, I'm feeling so autumny today. It's so close. We are so close. Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Harmony Nice and today I'm going to be doing another episode of my Enchanted Spellwork series. Firstly, I'd like to thank everybody for all the support that I had on my last video and everybody that took part in the kind of like little challenge that I held on Amino apps. It was an amazing challenge and I just kind of like to get the conversation going on there and stuff between you guys, especially new witches and Wiccans. So the winner of this challenge is this lovely person who had a very interesting spell. So thank you to everybody that took part. Also thank you for everybody that left really positive comments on my first Enchanted Spellwork series. I know a lot of you guys knew how much of a big deal it was for me to kind of start sharing my spellwork as per se on YouTube and stuff like that, so I got so much overwhelming support on it. Thank you so much to all the lovely people that did that. So today I'm going to be continuing my Enchanted Spellwork series, which is a spin-off series of my Enchanted Endeavours series, showing you guys more of the witchcraft side of Wicca and my own personal learned spells and things like that. If you did not see my first episode of Enchanted Spellwork, or you did not see the Enchanted Endeavours episode on Spellwork, I will link both of them down below so you can give them a watch. I did a really fun spell on kind of like letting go. Today I'm going to be doing a themed one because it is autumn, obviously. So I'm going to be doing a Mabon related spell. This is one that is very infamous. Like so many of you guys throughout my YouTube career, we'll say, have asked me to do this spell here online. So I just thought, fuck it, I'll just do it. This is the perfect time to do it. So I'm going to be showing you guys my very infamous Mabon buttermilk vegan bread recipe with the charm as well. I've put this on many social medias, like the actual recipe and things like that, on like I think Amino apps, and I also put one on Instagram, I believe, as well. So the recipe is on there, but I've never actually shown you guys the charm. So I thought it'd be really interesting for you guys today to see me kind of bake the bread and everything I do, and then also show you guys the charm that I put on it. The specific charm is Mabon related, even though this buttermilk bread recipe can be like incorporated into all of your sabbats. This specific one, which is like the typical time that I do make this bread most frequently, is at Mabon. This particular spell is particularly for Mabon. It's a protection spell. It also is kind of honouring the Sabbat too. It's a great kind of protection spell for your home for the winter months coming. So this is actually a recipe adapted from the Goddess and the Green Man recipe, which I will link down below, which isn't actually vegan, but I made it vegan for my specific preferences. But the actual charm and spell is my own personal spell that I made up and put on it, but it is kind of adapted from that traditional charm that they did as well. I just kind of made it kind of more relevant to what I wanted it for, so I hope that makes sense. You can check out the original one on there. So before I start this video, I always put a disclaimer on these videos, which I do have to do. This is just my own personal spell. Everybody does spell work differently. There is thousands and thousands of different spells where people will do things in very different ways. So just because the spell has worked for me and for other people does not necessarily mean that it's going to work for you. Like me, I had to adapt the spell into making it into something that worked very well for me, as opposed to just doing the charm that was on the website. So I hope you guys understand that everybody works differently within magic, and you may just take your time to be able to feel what's right for you. I do have a video all about spellwork on my channel, which I think will help you guys if you're just getting into spellwork. I am very personal about my magic, and it's a very personal thing for me, and it took me a long time to actually be able to share my magic with you guys. So please understand that, please respect it, and understand how maybe you would feel about sharing your magic for the first time on like a big platform like this. So just please be respectful as per usual, and I really hope you enjoy this Mabon buttermilk bread recipe plus charm for Mabon. This is such a British thing, isn't it? Jesus Christ. So what you will need for this spell are firstly 3.5 medium-sized mugs of strong white bread flour, 500 milliliters of soya milk, 2 kind of like big tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda. Do not go overboard with this because if not, it leaves a really gross aftertaste. Just bear that in mind. You could probably use baking powder if you'd prefer instead, but I'd probably double the amount and maybe put 2 teaspoons of that in. Some dried fruit, which is relevant to Mabon and stuff like that. So maybe Mabon related fruits would be pretty good, what they come from the harvest, or maybe you'd like to add some grains or something like that. I personally use apricot, raisins and ginger, which are all kind of like relevant fruits to me. They come very easily sourced from me. Now ginger is really important to my spell because it's really good for kind of cleansing, and it's like an antioxidant too. It's great for clearing things and setting your home up for the winter months, so I like to always include that in this. I just use dried ginger, by the way, as well. I don't use fresh ginger. Dried ginger's the way forward, like ginger crystals, they're good. And you will need a Mabon related colour or string. I do have Enchanted Endeavours episodes on the specific Sabbat of Mabon with like colour correspondences and everything like that. I personally use brown, red or gold ribbon. I have a brown and a gold one in this, but I'm pretty sure I am going to use the gold one probably. You also need any measuring units or any measuring utensils and other utensils and stuff to actually make the bread as you typically would, and a bowl and stuff. So the best time of the day to do this is in the morning around 11 o'clock. And when it comes to the actual moon phase and the actual day, which is the best to perform this spell, it's preferably the best to perform this on Mabon in order to honour the Sabbath and welcome the colder days and things like that. But if you do not have time to actually do it on the actual Sabbath, alternatively you can do it on a Saturday, since this is a great day for protection and also cleansing spells as well, or at a full moon. So there's typically usually an Esbat pretty soon after Mabon comes along, so you may want to do it around that time as well. Full moons are always great for like protection and things like that. So here is the method. I always tend to, before I do this, set a very calming environment for myself, especially if I'm celebrating a Mabon. I really like to just keep it really calm and really cool and really exciting and fun. But I always do this in the kitchen. This is not something that I do upstairs in my room. I do at my altar or anything like that. Occasionally I will set up a semi-permanent altar or something, maybe just with the god and the goddess candle and just any tools that I need, but typically I do this downstairs in the kitchen as kitchen magic. And obviously you're going to need an oven, so it's just kind of easier to be able to like transport the bread to the oven pretty quickly like that. So firstly, I pop the flour and the dried fruit in a large bowl and mix it all up. So all of your dry ingredients go in first. Then make a well in the middle of the flour and the dried fruit and add the bicarbonate of soda now, or if you're using baking powder, use the baking powder now. So this is the part that makes it kind of buttermilk, because this is how you make vegan buttermilk. So now take a jug, maybe that you've measured your milk in, and in the jug mix the soya milk and the lemon juice that you have together, and then leave it to sit there for around 5 minutes and it will curdle, which is really interesting, and that's what makes the kind of thick buttermilk. And this will be your alternative to buttermilk. Again, alternatively, if you don't want to make this vegan, you can just use regular buttermilk. It does work so well though, like it does work ridiculously well. Then be sure to leave this for 5 minutes to let it thicken up. Just make sure you do leave it for long enough. It might take a bit less, but just keep an eye on it. Then add the alternative buttermilk to the flour, and if it feels a little bit too wet, you can always add a little bit more flour. Try not to go excessively, maybe like just keep pouring the buttermilk in a little bit at a time to try to get the right measurements, because you don't want to overdo it on the flour. Now take the mixture and place onto a board and sprinkle it with flour, then make it into a spherical shape on the board. Once you have done this, then score with a knife 8 parts on this round circle, which represents the wheel of the year. They never stay in, by the way, but we do it anyway because we're witches. Now on a baking tray, whatever you're using in order to cook the bread on, place like vegan butter or a little bit of oil or some like low calorie spray or whatever you like to use on the board, and place the dough, the bread, onto the board, and at around 180 degrees British temperature, so make sure like it changes and things like that. Google it to see what temperature that would be for you, because I'm so bad with temperatures. I literally just turn it to whatever. And cook this bread for around 30 to 40 minutes, but keep checking it to make sure it doesn't burn or it's not underdone when you take it out, because the amount of times that I've cooked this for so long and it has been so underdone in the middle is ridiculous. So just keep checking it because it may need much longer than that. Now sit and read a book nearby to the oven and do something else while it's baking, and as you start to kind of smell the bread and start to smell the bread cooking, go close to the oven and say the words, "Mabon, have the warmth of this offering, protection and fullness from the fields around us. The winter months, through cold and darkness, will be guided through the wheel of the year." So once the bread has done, take it out and let it cool. And then take your ribbon and tie your ribbon around the bread in a bow. And while you're tying the ribbon around the bread, say the words, "Grain of bread, protect my shape, my family, my friends, and myself. Allow the hearth to be full at full until the light returns at Yule. So mote it be." Share this bread with your family and your friends, or even just maybe yourself if you don't have anyone else to share it with, to kind of share the protection and the fullness while the colder times do approach. Sunlight gone now. A star. So that is actually it. I know it's a shorter spell, but lots of you guys have been requesting it, and that's literally kind of all I do for the spell. It's really, really simple. It's so easy, and it's such a nice way to kind of start off the Mabon day. That's like what I've done for the last few, like this year and last year, and it's so freaking nice. Like I just love it, and this is what I'm planning to do this year as well. So please let me know down below what you guys would like to see from my Enchanted Endeavours and my Enchanted Spellwork series, as I am going to be pre-filming a lot for October this month because I'm going to be busy pretty much the whole of October. Whether you'd like harder spells or you would like more basic spells, and what you'd like to see from my Enchanted Endeavours series. And yeah, I hope you like it anyway. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing me make the Mabon bread, which has been so highly requested. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Mabon is coming. Beep beep.